What is a recent trend you absolutely hate? News agencies writing articles about all these people are saying X when it's just a few random people on Twitter, and generally the trend of amplifying fringe theories, beliefs, conspiracies, etc. Dividing people in generations, the generalizing over those like crazy. Boomers at pure evil, millenniaps this, Gen Z I don't ducking know what. It's weird to see otherwise liberal and progressive people being perfectly happy with prejudice based on year of birth. Using clinical words that have actual medical meaning to label people. Not everyone that does stuff you don't like is a narcissist, and the word gaslighting is so overused that it's lost its actual meaning. Maybe just a US thing, but new tipping expectations for non-service, self-help items. For example, you go to a restaurant to pick up an order for takeout, and are prompted by the electronic payment system to tip 5%/10%/20%, no waiter, no table, no delivery or service of any kind other than handing you the order and your receipt. Especially when you're paying electronically, the business owner is either just pocketing that extra money, or you're enabling them to pay below market wages. Turning mental illness into an aesthetic that other people have to tiptoe around, as opposed to actually making progress towards dealing with your problems. Also, you are far more likely to have a caffeine addiction than to have anxiety. Why do so many people post videos of them lip-syncing to songs so badly? The videos are dumb, but they are made so much worse by a person mouthing the words to a song 3 seconds after the lyric plays. I know you people are doing more than one take. Can you really not edit the music to go with your mouth? Why are so many people doing this? It boggles my mind. Video walkthroughs for simple instructions. Like I get video walkthroughs when trying to complete full mazes. But I'm just trying to find out which order I push the colored buttons to open the treasure wall. Just let me Ctrl+F to it in a written walkthrough. It'll take just 3 seconds. I'm not a fan of society's trend towards SUVs and away from sedans and hatchbacks. I don't really like the feeling of driving a tank, and most people don't need all that extra space. The van/SUV trend has never made sense to me, considering how expensive gas has become in the past decade. If someone told me in 2010 what gas prices would look like in 2023, I would have assumed that would spark a trend towards smaller and more fuel-efficient cars. At least the EV trend is getting stronger. Whatever content there is, people are constantly focusing on the persons involved and try to figure out if they're bad guys or good guys. Who the fuck cares? Since when is it so important to know if a stranger is a good guy or a bad guy? It's so pointless and childish. I see this cringe everywhere. Wow, you can tell he's such a genuine good guy, on content that has nothing to do with being nice or not. It's so pathetic. And when someone is being labeled a bad guy, suddenly it's okay for all the supposedly wholesome community to turn into assholes and insult him in every way possible. It's really a Team A versus Team B mentality, again, pathetic. Even one of my favorite content creators, Penguin Zero, is now focusing a lot on denouncing bad guys or showcasing good guys, breaking the situations down in a very naive dual view. I never knew about the word wholesome before it started catching trend in 2016 or so, and I never thought a word alone could make me cringe so hard, but it does. Fake eyelashes. Ladies, they look like crap. Please stop wearing those awful things. How people are using generational terms incorrectly on purpose as a way to further divide people. What I mean is how anyone older than you is now a boomer and anyone younger than you is a millennial, or perhaps more recently, a zoomer. You're only a boomer if you were born between 1946 and 1964. Neither my wife nor I fit this criteria, having been born in the late 1970s, which makes us Gen X, yet we've been called boomers by people. Likewise, you're only a millennial if you were born between 1980, some sources say 1981, and 1996, or Gens if you were born between 1997 and 2012. Some ignorant people who are older than my wife and I have actually called us millennials or even zoomers, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Filters for pictures, videos, etc. All you're doing is lying to yourself and everyone. I once left the club to go back in line because my girlfriend didn't feel safe being alone out there. The two girls in line ended up calling me a simp. Here I thought simp was supposed to be used to people bending over backwards for people not interested in them, not a word used for general courtesy. The long ass, rectangle nails girls wear nowadays. I don't get it. I am not saying all nails are ugly, because some are very nice. But the 3-inch long box nails are atrocious. I'm noticing young people doing a really shitty job at their place of employment. If you take a job, you should do your best at it or at least live up to societal standards. If you don't think it's worth doing properly because it doesn't pay enough, then stop doing it. One recent trend that absolutely grinds my gears is eco-washing, the act of companies slapping sustainable and eco-friendly labels on everything, turning the planet's imminent peril into a marketing ploy. It's like putting a green cape on a plastic superhero and expecting it to save the environment. If only Captain Planet were here to see this, he'd probably dissolve into biodegradable tears. People buying nice cars then changing the muffler to sound like a Chihuahua with IBS. Have a couple nice 380Z in the neighborhood that ruined the cars this way. Everybody knows whenever these people leave or come home. It's a, look at me, I'm special, kind of narcissism I grew out of when I was in my teens. Same for loud motorcycles, same type of people. It's a new law in our state that the exhaust can't be louder than OEM, so it'll eventually get better, hopefully. I'm a gearhead and a motorcycle guy who loves the sound of a well-tuned engine but hate tin can fart box mufflers. Women at gyms filming themselves playing with weights and soon as a guy walks by label them creep on the internet. Influencers doing these morning routine to make it look like they look like this every morning knowing it's not true. People going to events just to focus on recording it instead of enjoying it. People feeling the need to record every personal thing about their lives as if their 600 followers care that much. People being overzealous about these pronouns. There are bigger problems in the world, it's not gonna come crashing down because someone accidentally call you another pronoun. TikTok in general. It's rotting people's brains from infancy and encouraging people to grow up stupid. It's making a generation of stupids. That's it, that's the big problem with society right now. Corporations thinking social media speaks for everyone. It's far less than 10% of the population and most of that is mental illness venting into the void. 25 years ago it was a healthier representation because it was people on a computer at home that needed some sort of intelligence to even know how to use the internet. And even that was just a tiny section of the public. Now anyone and everyone online is just spewing shit 24/7 endlessly scrolling. I know I will get grilled for this, but wokeness culture. It has gone too far immo. I'm all for equality and nobody should be treated different just because of their sexuality, gender, skin color, or whatever. But we're at a point where we are designing and changing our society for minorities, and not making enough of an effort to address the larger and more complex issues. I think resources could be and should be better spent. Also tired that I can't say these things, without someone labeling me as a bad person, homophobic, or whatever slurs gets cast around. I don't give a fuck about other people, whatever floats your boat. But could we please address larger issues in society than someone who has changed gender, and their need for a trans toilet? I mean come on, people are dying on the streets and mothers with children can't even afford to give them lunch in school. Edit. I might add that people getting offended at Budweiser is just the same bullshit as above. I have an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old. So much of what kids this age are interested in is just so fucking stupid. I also recognize that I was that age once, and I thank the gods of awkwardness that there were no phones or social media to document my everyday existence as a teenager. I do remind them that very soon, they will start looking at pictures of themselves and say, "What was I thinking?" My 18-year-old has already started doing that with pictures and TikToks from 2 years ago. Thanks for watching, please consider subscribing for more similar content.